Good morning, Linda Lyons, and welcome to Thoughtful, Tremendous, Thankful, all the different things we could think about on Tuesday, May 28th, and the start of the last full week of school. And at that, it's not even a full week because we had yesterday off. 4 days this week, and we are just so thankful for it. Having a short week, it's always a lot of fun. And this being our last full week, we are especially excited. Okay, so today let's all try to be thoughtful of others because we talked about it being thoughtful, and that means being polite and respectful as an example. I just wanted to acknowledge last week's Reading Olympics celebration. All of you fantastic winners. There were so many. I mean, my head was spinning with how many winners we had, how many books read, how many AR points, how much achievement there had been. Really super high achievement, Lions, and I am super, super proud of everybody, all you students and you teachers too, for encouraging your students to read, for monitoring those points, to Mrs. Worm, especially Mrs. Worm, for all you've done in creating this fantastic library. In fact, Lions, I've got to tell you, I was just in the library last week, and Mrs. Worm had worked with Mr. Dant, I believe, and they had worked out something where some kind of an arrangement where there were a lot of new books. I can only assure you that our library will be fuller than ever next year with many, 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 many more new books, thanks to Mrs. Worm's tireless devotion to the library and Mr. Dant as well being a part of getting a lot of these new books to us. So thank you very much to you both. Okay, so weather-wise this week, it's supposed to be warming up. That's why I've got my sunglasses on. So bright, my future is so bright, I've got to wear sunglasses, like the song says. But for now, I'll put on my regular glasses. So it's going to be in the 90s all week. Now, for those of you who are saying 90s, oh my gosh, be thankful that 90s didn't start in April. In my 80 years, I have seen a lot of hot springs, not just in Palm Springs and Palm Desert, but we have had a lot of hot springs, even going back all the way to March in some cases. So let's be thankful that this is just starting at the very end of the year. Okay, so let's take a look at a couple of roar cards. Okay, the first one here is for Emmett Porterfield in Mrs. Edwards' class, fifth grader, picking up the balls after recess. Thank you so much, Mrs. Edwards. Gave you a big, huge smiley face there, Emmett. You did great. This guy, this was in the basket for roar cards, and I'm wondering who this guy, Ruger. This guy's name is Ruger. It's a Labrador Retriever and Comfort Dog. You don't necessarily get a roar card, buddy, but he probably wants some kind of a treat. All right, so let's see. So now let's take a look at our birthdays for the day. Today is the 28th. Hernandez, you know what? Let me pause you for a second. Okay, so we are looking at Francisco Hernandez Jimenez on the 28th today. He is a 9-year-old third grader in Mrs. Ortiz's class. Francisco, happy birthdays to you. And also Kamaya Williams, an 8-year-old second grader in Mrs. Carlson's class. Kamaya, happiest of birthdays to you. We have no staff birthdays. Again, we have no more staff birthdays in May. We do have some in June. In fact, we're not going to get to those, so I'm going to start saying those right now. In June, we have Mrs. Collier. Mrs. Collier teaches in room P3, and her birthday is on June 11th. And then on the 23rd, we have Mrs. Magana, June 23rd. She teaches in room P5, and her birthday is on the 23rd, as I said. And then on the 27th, we have Carlos Ferreira. Carlos is our afternoon or evening custodian, and his birthday is on the 27th. Okay, so super duper. All right, let's take a look at what do we have for breakfast today. The classic square breakfast pizza. Everybody always loves that. And then the La Bamba chicken taco. I don't know if I think we're supposed to dance to that La Bamba chicken taco. I'm thinking. Anyway, okay, so let's before I tell you a joke, I wanted to say, it's kind of serious. I used to love raising caterpillars as pets. It always gave me butterflies. So, but now on to a joke. Okay, so what are goosebumps for? What are goosebumps for? Goosebumps. To slow the geese down. Okay. Uh-oh, we have a special guest. Uh-oh. So, Mr. O'Brien, how are you? I'm well, how are you? I'm doing fine. Should we take a pause? Yes. Let's take a pause. Okay, everybody. So I want you all to do the Pledge of Allegiance as a class right now with your class. I have to check out, and I wanted to say to all of you, don't miss school, because when you miss school, you miss out. And remember, the world is a different place. The world is a better place because you're in it. So have a great day, Lions, and we will see you around.